Have you ever had a four-way on camera? Well, I'm about to. Tonight, we're looking at Sierra Nevada's four-way IPA variety pack. Hey folks, I am the Mighty Plantain. Thanks for checking out this video. Looking over the four IPAs available in the Sierra Nevada four-way IPA. We've got the German Style IPA, Hoppen Ale, Peach IPA, a fruit and hop ale, Black IPA, dark and hoppy, and Torpedo, which is an extra IPA. I believe I've had their dark IPA, or their black IPA, and I know I've had the Torpedo before. The Hoppen Ale and the Peach IPA, I believe, will be new to me. Now, the IBUs were only listed on the bottle for the Peach IPA. The other three styles, they weren't listed, so I'm kind of winging it here. I'm doing the Peach IPA first, followed by the German style, then the Black IPA and the Torpedo, and I believe I'll have them lined up correctly that way. Actually, I take that back. It was the Torpedo that was the only one that had the IBUs listed at 65. So, hopefully I get these lined up right by IBUs, and honestly, they're all IPAs. Black IPA is probably going to be darker anyway and have a little more body to it, and then the Torpedo as an extra is going to be more hoppy, I assume. So let's start off with the Peach IPA, the fruited one. It's got a different color. There's a bit of an orange or pinkish tinge to it, and I think I poured that a little too quick. Put a decent head on it anyway. Wow, that is cloudy, and there are lots of particles in there. I am not a big fan of beer with flecks. And I've kind of learned to get over it because the flavor is usually there that makes it worth it. But that's a chunky beer. I mean, look, there are actually chunks floating in it. That's more than just particulates or flecks. Those are chunks. Well, it says 2017, so it can't be more than 6 months old at this point. Packaged December of 2016 to 2016. It's been sitting around for about 6 months now. I can't imagine Sierra Nevada would have a beer that would go bad after 6 months. But that's a lot of chunks. I'm just hoping I don't get any of those in my mouth, because that's the biggest thing about beer with particulates is I don't like the texture implications, but most of the time I don't even notice them. So I've learned to get over the off-putting visual of the flocculent beers, but that's kind of a bit much to get over. So here goes. It does have a bit of a fruity aroma. Slightly sweet. Maybe fading to a bit of citrus. Actually, there's a nice crispness about it. And so sweet, maybe citrusy, very crisp. I felt one of the chunks pass over my lips, and that's very off-putting for me. It's remarkably smooth. And like I said, I'm feeling the chunks hit my lips, but I'm not actually getting them sticking to my tongue or in my mouth. It does have a bit of a medium light mouthfeel. And there's some fruity, citrusy hoppiness about it. And maybe a touch of a peach in the aftertaste. Overall, not bad. Not great, not impressing me. It is got that little bit of peach flavor. It's got a bit of fruity citrusiness, which isn't bad. And I'm trying really hard not to take points off for the appearance because I know some people like that, but it's just really off-putting for me. I gotta hit this with a 3 out of 5. I really want to go with a 3.5 just based on the taste alone, but honestly, I can't get past the visual. I can't. I personally just do not like seeing that much stuff floating in my beer, and I dread getting down to the bottom here and the texture that's going to result in with those big chunks. So, a 3 out of 5 for me, and again, on a scale of 1 to 5, a 2.5 is average. So this is still a slightly above average beer, and the only reason it's not rated at a 3.5 is that appearance. I can't get past it. But I'm going to stop hammering on that because I have talked enough about it, and I'm going to finish this up and move on to the German Style IPA. Alright, well, I was right about the chunks in the bottom. I got a mouthful of them, and that really was off-putting. But I rated it a 3 out of 5 before that happened, so I'm not going to change that afterwards, and even though it ended being very unpleasant for me. But again, that's a personal taste. Everybody's different. You might like that a lot more than I did. Next up, the German Style IPA, Hoppedel. That's my really bad attempt at a German exclamation of Hoppedel. Yeah, I'm just going to give up on that. That's really light. I mean, slightly cloudy and slightly effervescent, but very light, almost a pale yellow color. I don't know, I guess I'd say more of a brass? More of a brass, maybe? Another interesting colored beer. A lot clearer than the other one. This one's just slightly cloudy and there are no flecks, which is already a vast improvement for me. There's something earthy and rich about that aroma. Maybe some slight floral notes. This one could be interesting. Another nice medium light mouthfeel. Up front, just this earthy, dank earthiness. It's almost slightly oily, which isn't a bad thing in this case. It's just got this slightly oily feel to it as it passes over the tongue and down the throat. Very interesting texture. But yeah, really dank earthiness, and then maybe some floral notes coming through in the finish. Very interesting. The malt character is very interesting. I think that might be contributing to that dank earthiness. But no, just traditional German yeast. Nothing about the malt character, so maybe it's all hops that's giving it that body. German styles tend to be a little bit lighter. But that's definitely robust. I'm not used to getting earthy notes, especially not dank earthy notes, and then a floral finish. you do see them, usually in combination with each other, but not as often as you do citrusy or piney hop notes. Ooh, pardon. Or just an overall hoppy bitterness with no particular character. So the fact that this one's standing out for me means I've got to hit it with a 4 out of 5, just for being different. So I'm really enjoying this one. I'm going to finish it up, and we will move on to the black IPA. Okay, next up, Sierra Nevada's black IPA. Now, IPAs are great. Darker IPAs, within the past few years, I guess, have become more and more popular. I've had a few dark IPAs, some other black IPAs, and even some IPAs that are almost a hoppy stout. Ooh, that is thick. And be careful pouring that one. I wasn't even trying that hard and got a decent head on it. So that is a very foamy beer. Actually, still a little bit left in the bottle. So, easy to put a good head on that. It's a bit brownish. There's a slight amount of light coming through there, so it's not black. I mean, if you sit back here, it almost looks black until the light hits it, and then you can actually see through it. It's more brownish than black, but honestly, that's pretty typical of a black IPA. They're not all completely opaque. Looks to be slightly effervescent, maybe a couple of bubbles coming up through there. Can't really tell if it's cloudy or not because it's dark enough that you can't see any cloudiness or flecks in there. So it's interesting. I'm almost getting a spicy floral aroma off of that, mostly spicy. Not used to getting that from an IPA, but a bit spicy. According to the label, I shouldn't be getting anything, but I'm actually getting like a bit. Well, it's not getting anything, but I shouldn't be getting spicy or floral. But it's almost like a peppery spice. I mean, pepper is in like ground black pepper, not pepper as in a spicy pepper, but that's what I'm getting. I should be getting citrus and pine apparently, but I'm actually getting like a ground black pepper. Well, nice medium mouthfeel. It's a good heavy IPA. What's hit me up front is a roasted malt. There's almost a chocolatey, a very bitter, but it's not a hoppy bitterness. It's a malt bitterness from the roasting of the malt. Almost chocolatey, but not quite. Hit me up front with that roastiness. And it does fade to a bit of a piney. Maybe a hint of citrus in the finish. But in the aroma, as I'm getting ready to sip, I'm still getting that ground black pepper aroma. According to everything here, I shouldn't be picking up on anything like that, but that's what I'm getting. So I don't know, maybe it's just me, but let me know if you are getting the same thing. Hit me up in the comments, the email link down below. I want to know if that's something weird that I'm getting or if anybody else is getting that as well. While you're down there, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Like and share the video, obviously, when I get the word out. And subscribe if you want to get notifications every time I post a new video or just to support the channel. But no, it is a nice, heavy, dark IPA that gives that roasted characteristic up front. Just a nice roasty, almost chocolatey malt backbone that gives way to those piney notes and a hint of citrus in the finish, but I am still getting that ground black pepper aroma, and it's very weird. Because I shouldn't be, based on everything on the label. But overall, very solid beer. I'm hitting this with a 3.5 out of 5. I'm liking it. It's very much above average. Not quite making me say wow or blowing me away, but definitely a good beer. I'm going to finish it up. I'm moving pretty quickly through it actually because I'm enjoying it so much. And we'll move on to Torpedo, the fourth and final. Alright, so we are finally up to the last beer in this pack. This is the Torpedo Extra IPA. The only one that actually has the IBUs listed at 65. Being an extra IPA, they are not listing it as a double, but extra IPA seems to indicate some extra hoppiness, which is why I did save this for last. Because going light to dark is always a good idea until you introduce hops into the equation. Because you should always drink your IPAs after your porters and stouts. Hoppiness tends to overwhelm the palate more than anything else. That has got a nice, dark, golden brown color. I would call that a golden toasty, a toasty gold. Very golden brown. Pretty clear, maybe slightly cloudy, also slightly effervescent. That's got a nice well-rounded hop profile. I can already smell citrus and pine as well as some floral and earthy notes. Yeah, see, citrus and pine tend to be the ones that everybody really uses a lot, and I think I'm more attuned to citrus and pine because even on earthy and floral beers, I pick up on the citrus and pine more than I do the other subtle flavors, subtle aromas, which is why I like earthy and floral hoppy beers better. Sometimes. I don't know if I like them better or if they just impress me more, because I'm not used to picking up on the aromas or the flavors, but I'm getting all four in this. Pine and citrus up front, but then a little bit of earth and floral in the finish. Very nice, well-rounded hop profile. It's got a nice medium mouthfeel. I'm actually getting a nice combination. It's hard to determine what's hitting me first. I think I'm actually getting the earthy notes, then the pine, little hint of citrus, then some floral, but then back to the earthy. It seems to be going in a circle. Like I said, earthy, then pine, a little hint of floral, and then back to earthy in the finish. A little bit of citrus in there too. But those other three I'm picking up on more profoundly than the citrus. Citrus is in there, but it's very muted. Like I said, earthy, piney, a little hint of citrus, and then some floral in the finish, but then back to earthy in the aftertaste, which is really interesting. I'm liking this one. I think I'm going to hit this with a 4. Hang on here. A 4 out of 5. I was hovering there, almost getting it a 4.5. But then when the gas started coming back up, There's a little bit of negativity there. I don't like how it's coming back up on me. Yeah, all beers come back up on me, but I don't like the way it's coming back up on me in terms of the aroma and the taste. So it's at a solid 4. I'm really liking that Torpedo. And I think Torpedo's available way more regularly than this pack or anything else in the pack. So definitely a good variety of IPAs. A great four variety 12 pack. You should definitely pick one up and check it out, especially if you're an IPA fan. Like I mentioned before, hit me up down in the comments, the email link down below. Let me know what you think of the beers yourself, or if you think I should have lined them up a little bit better. I'm pretty sure I lined them up good based on how I'm experiencing them on the palate and the fact that nothing seems to really be interfering. Off camera, I was cleansing with water in between each beer, even though I am doing 4 IPAs in a row. It's never a bad idea to do some cleansing. Plus, it gets water into your system, which is always a good idea when drinking. Staying hydrated is key. While you're down there, hit me up with a like and a share. Make sure to subscribe. You get a notification every time a new video is posted. Hopefully you're getting some value out of them. Until next time, folks, thanks for tuning in. Cheers. Now, a little while back, we did a bit of a comparison with the Not Your Father's Hard Root Beer review.
Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for the beer, man. So, highly recommended by you. The Extreme Beer Fest this weekend. We'll be able to get a hold of, I believe it's the American